Hey, Brian Zach here. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I am a Nashville session and touring drummer. So, coming at you from my studio here in Nashville. And I wanted to answer a question that I had about double bass drumming and my experience with it. The question was, could I do a video on double bass? How I got into playing double kick, and how do I use a double pedal in fills and grooves, etc. Well, I'm not going to do any playing on this video, but I do want to answer the question just, from my mind. So first of all, I will eventually create a video with double bass and include some double bass playing and some examples and some exercises that I use and have been working on, and different ways to incorporate them into fills and grooves and soloing and what have you. The short answer is, I really didn't get into playing double bass until I was far into my adult career. I mean, I think I was, I don't know the exact age I was, but I want to say I was like 29 or 30-ish when I bought my first double pedal. It was the Tama Iron Cobra double pedal. And the reason when I was younger, I was recommended from my drum teacher and various other family members who are musicians in the family. I was recommended not to get a double pedal because it would help to develop my right foot, which I think is actually true. I think that's important, and I think it's good not to have to rely on it, especially when you're first learning to play, because then it becomes sort of a crutch, and it just becomes something that you always has to be there for you to do certain things. And so if it's not there when you're learning to play, you learn how to get around it, and you learn how to do things with one pedal, and it strengthens your right leg, and it's that's a really good thing. But I'll say, once I started playing bigger shows, and especially I found I was struggling a little bit at the end of songs when you have these big trash can endings. And, I wanted to create a certain effect with the drums. And in order to do that, I found that it would be helpful to have a double pedal, because basically, when you think about those big trash can endings where you're just holding out a note and you're just going kind of crazy, just filling all over the place and just making a whole big wall of sound. Maybe there's distorted guitars and whatever else is just holding out this, this long note. And, in certain environments, and concert environments, whether you're in a big concert hall or a theater or an amphitheater or outdoor venue of some sort where there's big subwoofers, you're trying to make air move in that room, and you're trying to get the subs to just fill up the room with sound. And so I found that in trying to do that with a single pedal, it would really tire me out. And it was really hard to do that. I'd get to the end of the thing, and you're trying to make your right foot just go bum, 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 as fast as it will go, and that works, most of the time. But wouldn't it be easier to have two pedals and just do this? And now, it's just easier, and it also frees you up to maybe do some extra stuff and some pyrotechnics and maybe spin sticks and that kind of thing. So, if you're into that kind of thing, which I was, I was playing a lot of showy type shows. So entertainment, it wasn't like I was with an artist or anything. I was doing a lot of theatrical shows on cruise ships and theaters and, just various other show venues like that. And so, part of the package is the entertainment aspect of it and the visual of it as well. So I started to get into it a little bit, and so I bought the pedal, and I'll have to say, it took me a long time to start to get comfortable with it, and to even, I was afraid to bring it on gigs because I was so bad at it. I really was. My left foot really just wouldn't do anything I wanted it to do. And still, I struggle with that sometimes today, even now in the present. My left foot is nothing close to what my right foot is. And, so that's always been a weakness of mine, even to this day. And I'm fully aware of it. And it's, I just haven't spent the time to develop it. But really, I'm not, you have to ask yourself, and I've gone through that. I've asked myself, like, is this something I really want to spend the time on? Is this worth it for me? And for me, the answer was no. And thus far, no. Do I like to work on it? Do I work on it? Yes. Do I like to work on it? Yes. Do I want to spend 4 hours a day working on it? No. Do I want to spend 4 hours a week working on it? Probably not, honestly. So, so there's a threshold there where at some point it sort of becomes, why am I doing this? And for what reason? And unless I had a gig that I needed to work on that for that gig, then, I'm not going to just sit here and bang my head against the wall trying to learn how to play double bass at like whatever speed and develop all this control and all these crazy, trying to get my feet to like play everything that my hands can do. So, you have to ask yourself that question, and where does that threshold begin and end for you? So, if you're into playing metal, and if you're into playing, anything that's, maybe prog rock, I don't know. Then maybe it's worth it for you to spend the time and to do that. Blast beats or whatever. I don't know. Do blast beats even have double bass? I don't even know. I don't play blast beats. I don't pay attention to that stuff. It's not really part of my repertoire as a freelance drummer. That's not to say that I can't do it or won't do it. I can learn, and so it's not like I have blinders on. It's just I don't get called for gigs like that, so I don't really pay much attention to it, and that's kind of where that begins and ends. Now, I'll say, to going back, when I first got the pedal, I finally, got the courage to bring the pedal out to gigs with me and to start using it, at least on endings, and just be able to, play right, left, and just play like, and make the ending sound bigger. And then through the years, as you do, you start to work it into your playing a little bit more here and there. And I'll say this, I'm not big on playing beats that are like over the top of double pedal, playing like booka 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 baka baka booka booka baka baka booka booka baka baka booka. I'm not so big into that. That's not a sound that I really enjoy listening to, and it's not really a sound that I want to do unless, very seldom. And even then, I'll probably do something that's not beat oriented, and it'll be more fill. So I tend to use the double pedal as more fill oriented, and really when I first started listening to Gavin Harrison from Porcupine Tree way back, I don't know what year it was, 2012 or so, when he first really started to gain recognition here in the States, like in the drumming world, he really blew my mind, and still does to this day. He's my number one double bass drum player. If I was to pick anybody that I want to play like, it would be Gavin Harrison. And I think he's said the same thing, where when he said, I don't play booga 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 like that, it really resonated with me, because I was like, oh, it's okay now. It validated my feelings about oh, it's okay not to play double bass booga 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 all the time. It's okay to play a double pedal but not play that beat or that pattern. And it's so how else, do we implement it into our playing? And it's, I like to play like flourishes with the double kick, where you're playing like, just you're playing normal grooves and fills, but like at some point you might just play like a little or like a little and just add those last 2/16 like on the kick drums, or or even like I mean, I could show you like kind of like if I go, it helps to put my left foot on the on the bass drum pedal. So all I'm doing is just 2 kicks, right, left, and then hand, right hand or left hand, doesn't matter. Okay, so just stuff like that where you might play like a groove. I'm screwing it up, but you know what I mean. Or these are just kind of examples that I haven't worked out in my head, so I'm just sort of improvising here. But the point is, when I play double kick, it's more about little flourishes of double kick and less about I think it would be way more fun to play just like that kind of thing, where you're just like playing like odd meter like fills like over the dugga 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 dugga. So really the bass drums, the kick drums just sound like it's just sort of this like foundation of like booga booga booga, underneath what's really, the more interesting pattern, which is the dun 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 dun, that kind of thing. So that's kind of like, I'm sorry, I'm just riffing here. I didn't really prepare any like exercises or examples here for you. So I hope this video is starting to answer some questions about how I use the double kick and why, But so, why? I mean, I really do enjoy incorporating double kick, especially into solos. I think that it really opens things up, because you can play all these patterns with your feet, and it frees your hands up to play any sort of idea, and I just like it. I just like that option, So it became a thing where, and it still is in some ways, where like I'll get a gig and I'll just bring the double pedal with me, whether I need it or not. Sometimes I don't know if I'll need it or not, but I'll just bring it with me, and it's there in case I need it. And more often than not, if it's there, probably once or twice within a show, I might use it. Like I said, at the end of a song, at the trash can ending, or some sort of big drum moment where, you can kind of throw it in there. So I really am self-conscious of not being that guy who's going to like abuse it. I really pay close attention to how much I use it, and constantly asking myself, am I overstepping my boundary here with this? Because, double kick isn't really in a lot of pop and rock music, at least mainstream pop and rock music. It's not there at all, hardly. It's only until you start getting into hard rock and metal and prog rock and sort of the outliers of the the mainstream genres. And the same thing with jazz too. I mean, nobody's playing bebop with a double kick pedal. Could you? Sure, absolutely. I mean, why not? But I don't know of any drummers who do that. Maybe Billy Ward. But Billy is not a bugga 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 player either, to my knowledge. I've never heard him play anything like that. But he'll play little flourishes and little like little triplety, 4-stroke kind of stuff. So that's kind of where I'm coming from with the double pedal, and I just like I just like it. I like the independence exercises of it. I like the right hand, right foot, left foot, and all the different combinations that you can do. I love the way Vinnie Colaiuta plays double pedal. It's very powerful, and it really does turn heads. But again, it's something that you really, really, really have to work on, and it's a muscle, and I find that if I go for a week or more without practicing the double pedal, that muscle atrophies quite a bit. Unlike my hands, or unlike my right foot, or just certain coordination kind of things. I mean, yeah, if you take a week off and you go to sit down at the drum kit again, yeah, you're going to feel a little bit like you're not fully on your game, but it comes back really, really quickly, if not immediately. And I don't feel like my left foot is like that. It takes me a few practice sessions to get it back up again. And there's various exercises that I do to work on that, and I will share those exercises with you in another video, in a lesson style video, when I have the time to write out the lesson and prepare it. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. Thanks for tuning in. Like and subscribe, and thanks for spending your time with me. I know it's precious, and you could be spending your time doing anything else in life, and here you are watching my video. So I really, really, really appreciate your attention and your eyeballs. So appreciate it. See you on the next video. Like and subscribe, brianzach.com. See you guys later.